Nigeria-Israel collaborate on water resources management. National Sports Commission unveils Team Nigeria's kit for All Africa Games. Good to have you join us on the news on NTA International. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Engineer Babashir David Lawal as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Other appointments as approved by the President include Alhaji Abba Kyari as Chief of Staff to the President, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali as Comptroller General, Nigeria Customs Service, while Mr. Kure Martins Abeshi is the new Comptroller General, Nigerian Immigration Service. Others include Senator Itainang, Senior Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters Senate, Suleiman Kawu, Senior Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters House of Representatives. A statement by the presidential spokesman, Femi Adesina, says the appointments are with effect from Thursday, August 27, 2015. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the Ministry of Defense be included in the committee set up to probe the procurement of hardware and ammunition in the armed forces since 2007. This was at an interactive meeting with key officials of the Ministry of Defense. The President restated his commitment to properly equip and meet the welfare needs of the military in the defense of the nation's integrity. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo's report will come subsequently. Now, Nigeria is to work more closely with other countries facing the challenge of falling oil prices to rapidly move away from dependence on crude oil exports for economic survival. President Buhari made this known at an audience with the new ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Nigeria, Fahad Abdallah Safian. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo has urged media editors to promote national unity while treating news and public issues. It was at the opening of the All Nigerian Editors Conference in Yenagoa, where he was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information, Folashade Yemi-Eson. He said editors are critical drivers of national development and peace. Bayelsa State Governor Seriake Dixon says after elections, politicians must unite to deliver good governance to the cities whose needs have no political color. The governor also urged the media to carry out self-examination to ensure good journalism practice in Nigeria. Acting President of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Garba Din Mohammed, advocated improved wages for Nigerian workers and functional education for every child. He also urged the media to develop citizen-centered agenda and promote the people's interests. In his contribution, the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Wahid Odushile, urged the Nigerian Guild of Editors to address the threats of social media to journalism practice. In the face of dwindling resources and threats from social media, Chief Executive Officer of Channels Television, John Momo, said change is the watchword for the editor to achieve the change that is needed. The issue of unimpressive ratings of the Nigerian economy will soon be a foregone issue. This is because the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, has inaugurated 2 technical committees to enhance the ratings. Correspondent Aishatu Zango Abdullahi witnessed the event and now reports.
Inaugurating the committees, a representative of the Executive Secretary of NIPC, a director in the commission, Mr. James Ebuse, informed members of the strategic business committees that their output will be judged by the impact they make in ensuring that existing investment are deepened, fresh capital is injected into the economy, and most importantly, the ratings of the economy receive tremendous upgrade.
Nigeria continues to be ranked poorly against its competitors on the continent. I would like to remind us that our economic development plan is hinged on private sector development and significantly on the injection of foreign direct capital into the critical sectors of the economy.
Stakeholders at the event say Nigeria, with the abundance of potential it possesses, should be attracting more fresh capital than what it presently does. While the Technical Committee on Doing Business and Competitiveness is to take an in-depth review of global reports on Nigeria's business environment, the Technical Committee on Investors' Care is a problem-solving committee. In Abuja, Aishatu Zango Abdullahi, NTA News.
And from Kaduna State comes this report that Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai has reiterated the commitment of the federal government to the revival of moribund textile mills in the country. The governor, accompanied by his Edo State counterpart Adams Oshiomhole, said this at the annual conference of National Union of Textile Garment and Tailoring Workers, which took place in Kaduna. Zachary Gabriel reports.
The theme for this year's conference, Buhari Administration, Revival of Textile Industries and Creation of Mass Decent Jobs, brought together critical stakeholders in the industry to examine the implementation and strategies for the revival of closed textiles, described by Malan Nasir El-Rufai as critical in the provision of employment to teeming youths.
The federal government and the state government will work to remove these problems.
Now of Edo State Comrade Adams Oshiomhole said the revival of textile industries in the shortest possible period has become necessary in the quest by Nigeria to develop. Join its membership from manufacturers of textile materials, including preparation of textile fabric for spinning, weaving, and knitting mills. In Kaduna, Zachary Gabriel, NTA News.
A renewed attempt at making Nigerians respond to national issues with high sense of patriotism has been unfolded in Abuja. Anthony Folson reports.
Tagged Nigeria Rebirth Project, it is driven by artists who are poised to use fine arts to showcase the positive sides of Nigeria and the dexterity in its citizens to triumph in the face of undaunting challenges. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information, and her counterpart in the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, in their separate messages to the occasion, applauded the concept.
I consider this project to be so unique in the sense that it showcases the mental creativity of the Nigerian youth.
The people more applauding to observe and commend Magnet Earth Africa for their efforts in giving it a holistic approach through admitting the negative perceptions but especially the mindset of the current administration in brushing out the realistic perceptions in the minds of Nigerians and the world in general.
The project coordinator and head of the participating artists say the project was conceived to stir up national consciousness of a superior Nigerian identity. The spirit of nationhood is to be engraved in the hearts of Nigerians, ushering a new frontier of true greatness and prosperity. Painters from the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, as well as the presidency, will form the 38 artists that will print the national art. In Abuja, Anthony Folson, NTA News.
For effective humanitarian services in crisis-ridden regions of Africa, there must be greater collaboration, coordination and cooperation at the intergovernmental, regional and continental levels. The Director General National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Mohammed Sani Sidi, stated this at the ECOWAS consultative meeting holding in Abuja. Edino Justice reports.
The fight against Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria's northeastern states of Borno, Adamawa and Gombe, with spillover in neighboring states, has led to a large number of both internally displaced persons, IDPs in Nigeria, and refugees in neighboring countries. The DG NEMA, Mohammed Sani Sidi, in a paper entitled The Humanitarian Consequences of the Boko Haram Insurgency in Nigeria, noted that with the military winning the war, large number of displaced persons are returning to their state of origin, which calls for effective coordination of humanitarian services.
And greater synergy, especially among countries, to deal with humanitarian crisis. We have our own share of humanitarian crisis in Nigeria, where over 1.5 million people have so far been displaced. So what we are asking for is for every donor, every agency, every stakeholder to key into the overall national program.
He further speaks on efforts and plan for the rehabilitation and education of the children of the returning IDPs and refugees.
We are able to achieve transfer of over 1,800 students to various unity colleges across the country.
Other speakers agreed on the need for Africa to present a common position at the next year's World Humanitarian Summit.
Assistance are not coming promptly, they are not timely, and of course funds are drying up.
NEMO has also said that among the returning refugees and internally displaced persons, nobody will be forced to return, but it must be voluntary, and that basic infrastructures will be put in place. From ECOWAS Secretariat, Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
The attention of government at all levels have been drawn to the issue of total inclusion of women and girls with disabilities, especially with regards to access to healthcare services. This was emphasized by the Executive Director of Disability Rights Advocacy Center, Irene Patrick Obogu, at a media dialogue on women with disabilities in Nigeria. Taiwo Odubeson reports.
The most challenge that she faced was when she was 9 months pregnant. In the night, around 9 a.m., she experienced her labor. She had to start shouting that she had to be holding her waist. And that took her and lie her on the bed. And they were telling her to push. It was when like the baby head wanted to come out, she was just trying to force herself to talk. Doctor. The doctor had already walked out on her.
This is one out of the many challenges that women with disabilities face. Hence the call for inclusion in government policies and social interaction in their day-to-day activities. Speaking at a media briefing in Abuja, the Director Disability Rights Advocacy Center called on President Muhammadu Buhari to review the status of women with disabilities in Nigeria and ensure their participation in every sector of the economy.
We would like to see much more economic empowerment of women with disabilities and that they are consulted in planning such interventions for them.
The group also urged governments at all levels and civil societies to undertake comprehensive review on progress and difficulties encountered in this regard. In Abuja, Taiwo Odubeson, NTA News.
Now this is the news on NTA International reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. Earlier we reported that President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed some key cabinet officials. The appointment is with immediate effect. Still to come, Nigeria and Israel to collaborate on water resources and management.
The Bundesliga, Europe's supreme league. 13 million fans in sold-out stadiums. Up to 120 new players every season. The Bundesliga. The numbers say it all. Almost 1,000 goals every season. It's Europe's most exciting league. Welcome to the Bundesliga.
Good to have you back on the news. The Nigerian National Council for Arts and Culture is celebrating 4 decades of existence. The council is putting itself before a mirror as it charts newer ways to bring the country's arts and culture to global dateline. Elizabeth Banu was at a briefing by the Director General, Dayo Keshi, on activities lined up for the council's 40th anniversary.
"40 years in the life of an institution is a celebration of maturity. National Council for Arts and Culture believes it can look back and be happy. It is quick to note, however, that Nigeria's art and culture are gold mines whose potential are yet to be fully exploited. So, when the council announces its 40th anniversary, it has no doubt about the potential of the sector to make a social and economic difference in Nigeria.
We look forward to the establishment of an arts and craft dome to serve as an outlet for the marketing and sales of finished cultural products that would enhance the economic value of our cultural industry.
With a theme showcasing the inevitable role of culture in national development and economic diversification, an international arts and crafts fair kickstarts the celebration on the 3rd of September 2015. In Abuja, I am Elizabeth Banu, NTA News.
Nigeria and Israel are looking into collaborating in the areas of water resources development and management. Both countries stated this in Abuja at a conference on water technology and environment control organized by Nigeria's Ministries of Water Resources and Environment in conjunction with Embassy of Israel in Nigeria. Musbah and Wahab reports.
It is going to be a new chapter in the cultural and economic relations between Nigeria and Israel. From 1960, there appears to be more interest in deepening relations in the area of water resources development and management. As a result, representatives of state governments and chief executives of relevant agencies were also here to be part of the process. With boreholes construction dominating rural areas across the country and over 30 dams completed and still counting, Nigeria have been striving to increase access to potable water. But the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Water Resources, Musa Estefano, says the challenge still lies in identifying appropriate technology for respective areas of the country.
Our project needs to be a very large project to be able to support the large population. And such large and complex contracts or such large and complex projects require highly skilled and technical people.
And now looking for a way out of Nigeria's challenge, Israel no doubt provides an excellent example of a country overcoming a water-related challenge through a revolutionary water cycle.
And Nigeria can learn from in agriculture, in flood control, in managing water and managing water qualities.
We look forward to how we can share, information between Nigeria and the state of Israel, because we must provide food for our people.
With intentions already established, the areas of collaboration will be ascertained in Tel Aviv in October as Israel hosts a 2015 exhibition and conference on water technology and environment control. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
Now, the burning issues of how Nigeria can tap or leverage on the resources and skill of the huge number of its nationals outside its shores to key into the change mantra of the present administration were some of the issues addressed by guests on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria. Abdul Malik Adio tells us more.
In line with the current administration's change agenda, particularly as it relates to the matters of health, education, youth and sports, Nigerian professionals and experts are being given a voice to contribute to the realization of the desired vision. It is estimated that about 15 million Nigerians live outside the shores of the country. This staggering figure has prompted experts to seek answers to development challenges facing Nigeria and ways to bring these professionals back home.
The fact that we have a crisp and clear 3-point strategic agenda, anybody anywhere in the world can easily recall those 3 pointers. And when you have a very focused, very simple, easy to understand agenda, and we are starting to see some action against that agenda, it makes it very, very attractive for many Nigerians who are truly committed to the growth and development of our nation.
We need to look at a new model of industrialization. We need to move away from centralized putting everything in the urban areas and the cities and begin to look at developing the rural areas, decentralization. A huge population, a huge percentage of our population lives away from the urban areas. We need to take development to those parts of the country.
When you look at what the Indians, the Chinese and the rest have done,
the emphasis was on development.
Establishing a diasporan commission, experts say, would facilitate the realization of the change agenda in the country.
Professionals that we are talking about, that to be able to galvanize and put them all together, they actually desire that there will be a commission that enables them to have a sense of belonging and to have an organized institution that can make their request known to the government and then enable them to do whatever they want to do.
Again, no coordination, no synergy. And you know what? They want to do it. They want to do it willingly and voluntarily, but there's nobody to talk to. They get frustrated themselves. They're even more determined than we are.
The discussant also alluded to the fact that creating an enabling environment through a vibrant economy would go a long way to attracting Nigerians in the diaspora to invest in capital and infrastructural development in the country. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Adio, NTA News.
And it's now time for stories around the world with Joseph Orok.
South Sudan president has signed a peace deal with rebels more than a week after refusing to do so at a ceremony in the capital, Juba, attended by African regional leaders. The presidents of Kenya and Uganda and the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who all helped mediate the negotiations, witnessed the event. Serbia and Macedonia have told a summit in Vienna that EU must come up with an action plan to respond to the influx of migrants into Europe. The summit was expected to discuss ways to strengthen support for Western Balkan states, as well as ways of tackling human trafficking gangs and providing better protection for the EU's external borders. China has accused 11 governments and port officials of negligence over the massive explosions that killed 139 people in Tianjin earlier this month. The August 12 chemical explosion sent a huge fireball to the sky and destroyed hundreds of homes, and at least 84 people are still missing, while more than 500 are still in hospital and thousands have been unable to return home. And in India, tension prevails in Gujarat state, where 2 days of caste-related violence has left 8 people dead. Fresh clashes were reported overnight, and the army has been deployed to maintain peace. A curfew has been imposed after members of the influential Patal community demanding quotas in government jobs clashed with the police and the local people. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
And on sports, a National Sports Commission unveils Team Nigeria's kits for all Africa Games as Usain Bolt completes sprint double in Beijing. Details on Sports Update with Kene Imawodike.
In a bid to ensure global best practices in the registration and monitoring of football clubs on the continent, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Thursday commenced its football licensing seminar in Abuja, Nigeria. NFF President Amaju Pinnick, who declared the seminar open, said his federation is committed to encouraging value addition in the nation's football sector. The National Sports Commission Thursday in Abuja unveiled the official kit for the Nigerian contingent to the All-African Games in Congo-Brazzaville. The track suits and jerseys, which came in 2 sets of green, white and green, as well as white and green colors, were displayed by the Director, Federation of Elite Athletes Department, Hawa Akiyemi. Director General of the Commission, Al-Hassan Yakmut, tasked the contingent made up of over 553 athletes and officials to give their best to make the country proud at the Games. Grace Gabriel, who spoke on behalf of the athletes, said they are determined to return Nigeria to the top of the continent in sport. Team Nigeria, which will participate in 20 sporting events at the Games, is expected to travel on the 1st of September. World's fastest man Usain Bolt delivered when it mattered most as he confirmed his supremacy over former world champion USA's Justin Gatlin in the 200 meters final of the ongoing World Athletics Championships. The Jamaican ensured his sprint double with this year's world leading time of 19.55 seconds.
Close the gap. Justin Gatlin is trying to close, but Bolt's already smiling. Dare we ever doubt? 19.56. Usain Bolt.
Bolt will be hoping to ensure a clean sweep of the sprint event when he anchors the Jamaican 4x100 meters relay quartet this weekend. With Sports Update, Kenayi Mabodike, NTA News.
And up next is Friday's weather prospect in Nigeria and major world cities. And that concludes the news on NTA International. I am Ifeanyi Okafor. Thanks for watching.